Hi, I'm Claire Tattersall. I'm the founder of Digital Fashion Week, and I am talking to 6 designers today who participated in our partnership with Ready Player Me. And we're going to find out more about their journeys and their vision for digital fashion. So my first question, and Estelle, I'm going to start with you. Can you tell us about your personal journey in the fashion industry and how you became interested in the digital space?
Yeah, so for me, I'm from a traditional background in fashion, but during the pandemic, I started to look at sustainable issues and ethics, and this really led me to discover that people were talking about digital fashion, and I just was like, okay, I got to know some more about this. So I enrolled on Browseware University, Clo 3D tutorials, and this led me then to do a master's degree in digital fashion. And then really since then, I've just been hooked on, and I just can't get enough of just exploring and researching and learning more and more of what I can do, the opportunities that are within it. Yeah, so that's a quick brief of overview of how I've got to where I am.
Thank you. Ilona Song, how about you? Can you tell us about your journey?
I think it's the same thing. The pandemic changed everything. So actually, before that, I've been entrepreneur like for a long time, like since I was younger, and I started my journey with fashion actually from the moment my daughter Camilla, she graduated from Parsons, and she inspired me to start doing it professionally. So, and I launched a couple of collections physically. Physical collections, and they were successful. That's how I started physical fashion, just like a year before the digital fashion. And then pandemic hit, and then I couldn't continue doing that. So I started doing digital fashion. So that's kind of like briefly.
Cool, interesting. Lorena.
Okay, so I think we are the sons of the pandemic somehow, because I think that was a point that changed a lot of things. I came from a totally different background, different from fashion, but I started my career in fashion more 15 years ago, more or less, and really in traditional fashion. And yes, it was the pandemic that made me go deeper in digital fashion, because I started a little bit of digital design before the pandemic. But at that point that I lost my job, as a lot of people happened, I decided to go deeper and to learn, because I really was super fascinated about the possibilities of digital fashion for traditional fashion, and right now also for the just digital fashion.
Cool. Mickey, Metaneon.
Hi. Yeah, so same thing again. Obviously, it's a very similar stories here. Pandemic definitely did make a pretty big impact on the way we looked at things. But yeah, quickly, yeah. So I come from the traditional fashion. I spent about over 20 years working for premium denim brands to even fast fashion retailers, just doing a lot of different fashions over the years. And just the fact that the fashion industry has such a big impact on, global warming and, amount of stuff that we create in the landfill. And it always made me feel guilty, especially like towards the end. I did spend most of my time in fast fashion. And when I discovered digital fashion, it just kind of gave me a new tools and new playground to express my styles and designs and express myself. And very similar to everybody else here, I discovered Clo and different ways of expressing my styles and getting involved. And it's been a very fun journey. And I also have kind of switched over from traditional fashion to digital, working for a very large company at the moment as well. And it's been really fun to be involved in that kind of project, while also doing my side project for Metaneon as well. And yeah, so it's been very fun.
Fascinating. Shiu, can you tell us about your journey?
Hi. Hi, everyone. So I actually start my 3D journey from architecture because I studied architecture before, and then I moved to the kind of traditional fashion school. And then also same as other people, the pandemic hit. So then I start get into the digital fashion world. And then I found this is my thing and I feel more free and creative. So that's basically my journey. And as for my studio, Shiu Studio, I'm working on all fashion related digital creative stuff and also 3D printing objects. Yeah.
Thank you. And Edvard. Hi, Edvard. Are you muted?
I'm sorry. Yes, Claire. I have worked for the traditional fashion industry since the year 2000 for different Mexican and international premium brands. And of course, in my own firm of design. During the pandemic, I began to experiment new paths in fashion, and I discovered the digital part, where the limitation, in my opinion, in design are blurred. And there are a simple many possibilities to create, and simple fell in love with the possibility that all this new repertory of digital fashion offers. And this is amazing for the creators.
It is amazing for the creators, and it's amazing to see such great creatives who really have a place at the table at the moment. So a lot of people ask me if the digital tools are actually lowering the bar of entry to fashion design. What are your thoughts about this? Estelle, let's start with you again.
Yeah. Well, it's quite interesting actually that we are all coming from a fashion background and having some traditional industry experience. But I think I'm actually quite encouraged that it is opening up to other people that, you know, maybe don't have this experience. And it's really quite interesting to see what they're creating. But I also think it's allowing for this appreciation of the design process and the pattern cutting and actually what is required to make a garment. And hopefully it gives a little bit of an indication as to the requirements that are needed for physical garment production and hopefully an appreciation for the work that actually goes into that. So hopefully it has this kind of feedback. But yeah, I'm really encouraged. I think it's great that everybody has a chance to be their own fashion creator.
Fantastic. Thank you. Ilona, what do you think about this?
Could you please kind of like more like in detail, like repeat the question?
So a lot of people are asking if the digital tools that are available are making it easier for people to become fashion designers, or if it's actually harder because there's a lot more to learn at the moment.
Actually, it's kind of hard. It's a lot of things are new, and every day you have to learn more and more. But nowadays with AI, it's much easier to start. I mean, it's not. It helps a lot. It's not, but you still need to learn more to like more programs because the progress grows so fast, so you have to catch up. So
Right.
for example, last year we started with Cloth 3D, and now we're with AI. We need to switch to other programs. For example, we can some of the garments we can do it in Cloth 3D, so we need to add nomad sculpting, like other like Blender, I mean, to mix it. And the main issue right now is interoperability. So we need to adjust to all the metaverses, gaming. So we're actually challenging right now.
Thank you. Lorena, what are your thoughts?
So I think they are not lowering, they are totally opposite. I think they are upping. I mean, become a digital designer requires a lot of flexibility, patience, learning capability, and the willingness of learning every day, almost every day of your life, something new. So I think it's very competitive, and in that way, I don't think you lower anything when you have to be so precise and so competitive and dedicate so much time. No, it requires a lot of passion, and to do something like that. No, you have to keep to keep a lot of things in your life just to dedicate yourself to that. And I think not all the people, and more in traditional fashion, is dedicated to do that. And indeed, for me, one of the points of traditional fashion is that people they have been using the same tools for 13 years, and right now it's a totally new world that they have to learn, and in a very, very fast way. And I think this is the point that some people is looking at digital fashion not good, not with very good eyes, maybe.
I like that perspective. Metaneon, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I can totally see why people ask that question, especially coming from me, who when I first started in fashion, I didn't even have computer. Everything was done by hand, and everything was just very physical. And to me, I really welcome all these new tools. And just because someone new, young is using these tools to create something that used to take so many weeks or months to create, I just see it as a new tool, and we all have to adapt and welcome the new things that are happening. And I do understand how some people could feel that someone who don't have that much experience can whip out so many interesting, beautiful designs without spending that much time into it. But I just think it's all positive, and yeah, and like everybody else, there are so many things for us to learn, and it is very challenging and frustrating sometimes, but it's really fulfilling at the end when you see your final result, your blood and tears are coming to life, and it's been really fun. So I really welcome it.
That's true. It can be really challenging and frustrating, but then it's absolutely wonderful when you break through. Shiu, how do you feel about this?
I think it's a little to do with the part of the entry to the fashion design, because it's actually hard to compare between both of them, because they have different values and require different skill sets. And then it'll depend on the purpose, what purpose is going to serve. For example, if it is going to be going to the production, then you definitely need more traditional fashion background. But if it is going to serve for the gaming industry or metaverse, then you definitely need more 3D skills. So yeah, so I agree with other people say it is every day is new, and we have so many things to learn every day. Yeah.
Right, interesting. I like the way you sort of divided it between whether you're working more in the traditional industry or in the digital layered industry. Edvard, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I think that we are evolving all the time as creators and creatives. The important thing is how we are going to use these tools. From my point of view, it's not only about the tools, it's about the previous knowledge that you use to create digital fashion, okay? The inspirations and the talent of the course. Using the new tools, you can create in a more efficient way within traditional fashion. and also go crazy to create digital pieces. That's the good news. So I think it's breakthrough, and it's up to use specialize more and more, and above all, to make the best use of them ethically and professionally. That's the thing.
Right. So I think everybody really agrees that it's demanding a growth mindset. While everyone's going to have their different point of entry, you need to continually keep learning. So my next question is, what do you think is the role of digital fashion? And I'm really interested to hear, because so many of you are from the traditional fashion industry, and then some of you are not at all. So I'm really interested to think, what do you think is the role of digital fashion? So Estelle, let's start with you again.
Yeah, okay. So for me, I feel it's very important role in trying to help towards meeting sustainable goals. So used by the industry to develop their ideas. But I'm also quite interested in its ability to be able to put digital garments on sale for this on-demand model. And I'm really interested in that model that is emerging due to this. But then also, obviously, we've all been working and creating metaverse wearables and thinking about gaming. So I feel like it's got two values to me, really, is that it can obviously functional in its abilities to help reduce waste and trying to meet sustainable issues. But then also it's got this extra layer of actually being able to open up opportunities to move into other industries as well that we probably would have never imagined a few years ago. So yeah.
Right, great point. Ilona, from your perspective, what do you think is the role of digital fashion?
I agree with Estelle. Actually, it's digital fashion is going to help for physical fashion. I mean, in terms of sustainability. So, for example, we can create patterns and sell things on demand, like a pre-order, and like in this business model. It's for physical fashion, and for, of course, metaverse and gaming, and but in all these digital worlds, we're gonna use digital fashion anyway. So it's inevitable, even though people, they don't believe right now in it, but still we're gonna dress our avatars, and I think it would elevate a lot gaming industry. So and especially with the designers. So like what we're doing right now, we're creating these garments, like haute couture garments. So our avatars in gaming, they would look better. They would look more fashionable.
Right. And that's what I'm so excited about, the designs that this group have created, that there are very fabulous gala-ready gowns that personally I feel really excited to try them on and wear them. Lorena, what do you think about the role of digital fashion?
Okay, I think, as previously Estelle and Ilona said, I think to summarize, digital fashion is a game changer for me. And really, it is, and it will elevate the industry of fashion to a new level, no? Opening new business opportunities, new markets, and things that were, I don't know, 3 years ago, nobody imagined, no? This intersection in between fashion and gaming, and fashion and new digital developments. And I think the word is that it's a game changer. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, Mickey.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much Estelle, Ilona, and Lorena have already covered everything already, sustainability aspect, and just the merge of like fashion with like gaming industry and things like that. And also, but I think mainly it's what we can provide to the audience out there is this new way to express themselves. I mean, digital fashion is not going to really take away from physical. We all need to just still go out there and get the real stuff, you know. We're not going to be, we don't live in this space all the time. We, you know, we're human, so we need to be interacting in the real life. But since we spend so much time digitally, you know, online, that it's just a new way for people to express themselves, and I just love being part of it, you know. And like I said, currently I'm working with like a really big team right now, working with people who are from the traditional like gaming and social media company, and I just love the fact that I can be part of it, bringing in, you know, injecting like contributing my like traditional fashion background and construction and the psyche of like consumers out there, and then working with this team to create new product. It's been really, really fun for me.
So let me ask you, because you do, you know, you've come so much from the traditional fashion industry. Do you think this is going to reflect back to the traditional industry and encourage more companies to really invest in their workforce to train them in digital fashion that will help them in just the design process and making it more sustainable?
Yeah, so I saw obviously my eyes didn't really open up to the 3D and digital until obviously right after post-pandemic, and when I discovered it, which was about a year and a half ago, actually was it a year ago? Year and a half, 2 years ago. Anyways, and at the time I saw, when I reached out to a lot of my friends, how much companies were investing in training the design and product development team and also production team to learn this process. It's a very, very expensive process. It's like about $9,000 per person for them to have just the application and also training. And, you know, in fashion, there's no time. You have to keep on going, and there's no time to even like train. But I saw that people were really, companies, especially big companies, were really investing. And a lot of companies have committed to completely switch to digital, even for fitting. You know, because usually sampling takes about 6 to 8 rounds of samples before they go into production. And, you know, digital fashion can really reduce the amount of sampling costs down to even like, you know, quite a bit. So I saw quite a bit of that happening, but I think lately I see a little pullback of it, but it is moving towards the right direction. And, you know, I think it's definitely a positive thing. It's just that it takes so much time and, you know, investment from the company to train and to get it to, you know, to their normal workflow. But I think it is slowly happening, and I think it's a very positive thing.
Right, right. And I like that you were able to put a number on that as well. That really changes everything when you've actually got stats and data. Shiu, what are your thoughts about the role of digital fashion, either in the future, just in the digital world, or in the you know, traditional fashion industry as well?
I think, first of all, it is playing huge on marketing, because, for example, the AR try-on and other, you know, virtual spaces showcasing. So I think people like to see magical and beautiful stuffs on and showcasing on the digital spaces. And also I like how digital fashion can give a single design or a piece of clothing various form of presentation. Yeah, so it won't be just sitting on the dummy and then people can view it, but then it just have different way of expressing one single design, even though it is the same pattern, but then it looks different on gaming platform or AR platform, some sort of stuffs. Yeah.
Right, right. So that's a very good perspective, that we're looking across different platforms. Edvard, how do you feel about this? Edvard, I think you might be muted.
I'm sorry, I don't know why. Okay, digital fashion is definitely breaking paradigms. Fashion is and always will be a mirror of what is happening in our global society. So this is the most important role for me, because today we are an unprecedented digital beings, and little by little we are understanding our digital identity within the metaverse and the possibilities we can express and see us on the metaverse. The digital world is simply going to gain importance every day. So in our various online activities, and that is where the opportunity for digital fashion comes in. So as Shu said, the people want to see magic, and that's the most important role. We need to work right now in the fashion industry for the next generation.
You know, and I think these are great points, that it is a reflection of society, and also this focus on magic, because that's what fashion is. It's about storytelling. It's about creating the magic of self-expression and looking at who we're going to be, which I think brings us very nicely into the next question, because you are all incredible independent designers. I've worked with you as a core group several times, and I think obviously you all know that I think you're super talented, both technically and creatively, but you're independent designers. How do you see the recognition of independent designers evolving in the future? And you know, for this question, I'm going to shape the order up a little bit. Ilona, I'm going to start with you. How do you see the recognition of independent designers evolving?
I think, I mean, I have a positive actually attitude for it because of decentralization. So it's a green light for independent designers. So, and everyone can express themselves, and we have a lot of opportunities in digital fashion. So like we discussed before, we have opportunities to change the traditional fashion industry and digital fashion. I mean, in digital fashion, I forgot to mention about AR, the chips, AR chips that we're using in physical garments. So it's like authentication chips. So these are the points that I forgot to mention. So it would change the fashion industry as well. I mean, traditional one. So, and for independent designers, we can choose actually the way we want to focus on, whether it's gaming, whether it's we can, for example, like again with AI, we can create designs for fashion houses. I mean, for different big brands. I mean, there are a lot of business models that
Yeah, it's exciting. Lorena, why don't we ask you, how do you see the recognition of independent designers evolving?
I'm not so positive as Ilona. No, it's not that I'm not so positive. It's that it's true that decentralization and digital fashion has opened a new way of expression and a new platform for independent designers. No, but fashion has been always very competitive, and it is very competitive still, and also in digital fashion. And in this decentralized world, a lot of big companies are entering every day more. So the competition still is like somehow is like more like in real life, no? A little bit. It's natural because it's evolving and there is more people in the game and there is more competition. So for me, there is a very big opportunity. There is a lot of new roles and a lot of new possibilities, no, for personal and professional development, but there is a lot of competition still. So it's for an independent designer. If you are not an independent designer, that at the end you will need the money at some point, no? You will need, yes, it's true. It's like in real life, you will need some funding if you want to grow. Otherwise, it's going to be, from my point of view, complicated.
Right, right. It's true. Shu, how do you feel? Do you think the recognition of independent designers is changing?
Yeah, I think it's definitely positive because you can always switching back and forth to the tactile designs and the virtual designs. And for independent designers, I think how digital fashion help is that at least for myself, I can keep creating stuff. And I don't need to produce so many, physical stuffs, so many toys, but then I can still express myself and still keep creating the new garments and then showcase. And when I'm ready to go, then I can, find another way to create the other version of the design.
Right, right, right. Edvard, do you feel that the recognition of independent designers is changing and you're getting more recognition?
Okay, I think, Claire, we are on the way. With a career as a designer in traditional fashion that I'm not creative, digital fashion has been exciting. But also the digital fashion is a great challenge for us right now. It is great opportunity, but I definitely hope that there will be more respect for independent designers, more support from the market, the institutions, of course, and this is really important to continue continue generating exciting pieces, because we work a lot of time for create all of these things. Digital fashion is not more easy. You need to concentrate and create like as a traditional fashion and spend a lot of time to do that. So my answer, a small answer for this is, I think we are on the way.
I like that. Anyway, that's very hopeful. Mickey, so you work for a very large company, but you're successful as an independent designer as well. Do you feel that there's potential to be listed, as a collaborator in the future, or how do you feel the recognition is changing?
Could you repeat the question about being collaborator? Just
Yeah.
in general, or?
So do you feel like there's hope in the future that independent designers will not be employees, but will perhaps be seen as collaborators? Do you feel that you are more recognized, or your talent, large companies want to absorb your talent?
Yeah, I think depending on how you get introduced to the company. Obviously, there are opportunities for all of us to be a collaborator and start that way. Unfortunately, the way I got introduced to the company that I'm currently working for has been just underemployed. So I'm currently just working as just part of the team. But I think kind of going back to your original question about how we are getting recognized, again, I do agree with everything that Lorena said, because of the platforms out there for us, social media, obviously, like anyone can put their work out there and be recognized, and as long as you put all the effort into marketing and networking and things like that. But just kind of like going back to the original question again, it's the fact that we have these platforms where we can put our work out there. In the past, I wasn't able to do that, you know. In the past, like you would have to get a lot of fundings and just other traditional ways to get your work out there. But now, you know, if you have the talent and time and dedication and a lot of luck, obviously, and a lot of networking, you could put your stuff out there and be recognized fairly quickly, you know. So I think there are pros and cons. Yes, there might be more competition, but you also have like a really amazing chances of this being like super exposed. So I think it's a very positive thing. Again, the way I got this other job is through social media. It's putting my work out there, especially like, you know, through a digital fashion week and it's being exposed that way. And that's how I ended up doing what I'm doing right now, which is something that I've never even thought of. Like I couldn't even imagine doing what I'm doing today, like 2 years ago, even a year ago, you know. And so I think it's a really great way. It is really great that there's more positive than negative being independent designer at this time right now.
Great. So there's opportunities, but you need to market yourself.
Yeah. You have to keep on working, right? I'm currently taking a little bit of break because I've been just very tired because I have a really regular job and I'm doing this on the side, so it's very tiring. So I am taking a little bit of break, but I can't wait to kind of get back into it because again, that's the fulfillment of seeing your vision, going through all the blood and tears and seeing the final product of your creation is so satisfying.
Cool. Estelle, do you feel that independent designers are being recognized more?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's quite clear that we all can appreciate how hard we all work. But I think we're in a time where these opportunities for us to actually share our work are out there. So it's great, obviously, people like yourselves who are advocates for really pushing us and showing what we can do. But I'm glad you talked about collaborations as well, because I think that's quite key for independence to get in there. You know, we see the fabricant inviting people in to do collaborations. I think that is quite an important step, and I think that's quite a nice way of working as an independent, but feeling like you're part of a bigger picture. But yeah, I think there's so many opportunities out there for us. We are living in a bit of an exciting time. I feel very privileged to have started doing what I'm doing at this point.
Cool. And I think that's a great point that you raised. The fabricant are providing amazing leadership at the moment and really honoring everybody who is part of their community and their network. So I have one last question. What is your vision for the next 5 years? And I'm going to shake up the order again. So Edvard, I'm going to start with you. What is your vision for the next 5 years?
Okay, I think we need more crazy in our creations. It's really important to transmit the transmission of our passions to the real life to virtual life. This is a great vision. Create words and worlds. Significant appreciations. The first thing is to continue to growing for me as a digital artist in next 5 years. Strengthen my digital concept so that is recognizable. Sorry. And increasingly accepted and desired, of course. Some important thing is recognized and appreciated by the market. Okay, but the most important for me is to strengthen my ability to communication. The message, my message for the people, for the world, it's really important. So I think this is the moment to express and recognize the moment and feel more and change our minds, of course.
I love, we should be more crazy in the future and more expressive. Shiu, what do you think? What is your vision for digital fashion for the next 5 years?
I think I hope the tactile design experiences and the immersive virtual experiences can kind of merge better together in the future. For example, how it's hard to express, but it's hard to explain, but how can we create the more, for example, for me, for a lot of people, the virtual fashion or virtual design is still a little far distant from them, but how can we make them actually feel and experience the thing we create by digital tools, if that makes sense?
Yeah, and layer our experiences more digital.
And also, I think another thing is that I think digital fashion can actually keep people be creative, so that, because a lot of people say creativity is dying, but that's why we need to keep creating new stuff, and not only creating new stuff, but give more deep definition or meaning to the thing we created. Yeah. So I think this is my vision for the next 5 years.
Fantastic. More creativity sounds amazing. Mickey, let's go to you next. Where do you see?
So I don't really have particular vision, a clear, like particular location that I want to get to in the next 5 years. It's more of just, I know that it will be, it's a place I'm working towards, practicing, just learning more of these tools and, dedicating more time on my work. And, but I just know that within 5 years, I'm just going to get to a place where it's a place I can't even imagine yet, and I like the idea of, because we are in a space where we are but new things and new spaces are being created. So it's gonna be really hard to say what that is yet, especially like so many things happen, like every day here, So but I love what Shiu mentioned, that it's more about staying creative. Again, like I've worked for like big corporate companies all my life, and this practicing Metaneon just gives me an opportunity to stay creative, and that's what I'm enjoying the most, and that's what I'm looking for from Metaneon is, a place where I'm not just working for a company. I get to practice my own creativity and put my work out there through social media. So that's been very fulfilling for me. So that's my main focus. But bigger picture is for me to kind of get to the next level, and I'm very excited to see what that place is going to be.
Exciting. We're excited to see what that next place is going to be for you as well. Estelle, what's your vision for the future?
Personally, for myself, the reason I got into doing my master's was to get into education. So I'm trying to steer myself into education. I'm actually actively looking at setting up some more local community workshops as well, and trying to bring digital fashion and AR try-ons into the community, my local community. But I'm also quite interested in the Fashion Institute, Fashion Innovation Agency, and what they're doing with the immersive experiences and AI. I've just jumped off before coming onto this. I was just on the NVIDIA, and they're doing a conference and they're talking about AI, and they were just showing the catwalk show using the AI technology. So I think there's so much that could potentially happen in 5 years. It's hard to even go where it could go, to even imagine where it could go. 5 years time, we're going to be probably talking about what's happened and how we couldn't have ever anticipated it. So it will be interesting to see. But yeah, personally, it's about trying to get more engaged with education and really passing on, I think, my skills, what I've been learning. That's for me.
Yeah, it's true. 5 years is a long way out when we think 3 years ago we couldn't really imagine being here. Lorena, what do you think? What's your vision for the future of digital fashion?
You just said 3 years ago, I couldn't imagine being here. Now, so personally, I feel a little bit like Nikki. So I go with the flow and let's see. Now, it's not that you don't have a plan, but it's that you cannot make a plan on something that is so changing and is so evolving so fast and in different ways. No, I never imagined being here 3 years ago. Never, never in my life. So, and this is amazing. For me, this is something that sometimes not knowing is not very good, but sometimes it's something that makes you be alive, no? And feel, I feel good with that. And I feel good because my job is every day different and it's something that I love. And in terms of the industry, I think that we are going with the flow of technology, as technology grows, we will see things evolving. Maybe sometimes it's like augmented reality. It's a lot of time that people is working in augmented reality and had been a little bit stopped for some time. But right now, with also artificial intelligence, and there are things that are evolving very fast, no? So maybe we cannot see even the peak, no, of the iceberg of what we are going to have in the 5 years. But for me, my willingness or the hope I have is that digital fashion evolves and also metaverses in a way that they are more interoperable, that Ilona said in the beginning, no? Because right now for digital designers there are a lot of things that are not working well. We have to deal with a lot of problems, technology problems, and also arrive to, I used to say, to the world of Barbie. For me, the world of Barbie is the world where everything is ultra realistic. No, you can almost feel the fabrics. No, and I am having these virtual experiences very, very near to real experiences. This is the thing I wish for the next years, and I wish people is working on that.
Yeah, again, merging sort of our experiences and really making them rich. But I find it really interesting that you're saying, some of you are saying that you're going with the flow, because I feel that you're very much drivers of change. You are the people who are picking up the technologies and running with them. And by providing the assets, you are really providing change and influencing the future. So Ilona, you are last. And the last person on the last question, what's your vision for the next 5 years?
As we said, 5 years, it's a lot. Especially, I mean, I just realized that I just started a year ago. It was like I launched my first collection on DressX a year ago on Valentine's Day. I didn't realize that just a year passed by. So generally speaking, in 5 years, I think the ratio of physical fashion and digital fashion would switch. For example, for now, we have maybe about 20% of digital fashion and 80 physical fashion. So I think it will be switched to, I mean, mostly it's going to be digital fashion and physical, just the rest of it. It's because right now, as we already talked about it, we're going into metaverse, and will be more and more, even though we're still kind of resisting, but we're going to be in digitally in virtual world more than than, for example, even now. So, and I think, yeah, digital fashion will impact not even fashion industry, like our lifestyle, and it would impact like other industries as well. So like I can't even imagine where we're gonna be in 5 years, but I know for sure it's gonna change a lot, even our lifestyle.
Well, I think that's a great point for us to end with, is that fashion is going to influence all these other industries and really affect our lifestyles completely, how we interact with fashion. I think one thing that we do know for sure that will stay consistent is that fashion is about telling the story of who we are. Fashion is for wearing, whether we wear it physically or we layer it with digital assets. I think there are some constants throughout this, and I think also your creativity that you are all bringing to the table will remain a constant. So I am super excited to see where all of you go, where you will all be in 5 years. I think it's going to be very fantastical. And I look forward to that. And it's just been a great honor to have you on board in the Digital Fashion Week community. You know, it's an amazing community. It's an honor, as I said, to have you here. You're all super talented. And thank you so much for showing up for this interview as well. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, I was gonna add, I just wanted to summarize and like to finish on this optimistic note that in 5 years, I think for independent designers, it's a future for independent designers actually. Like we see now how it's changing from big brands, all these new names coming up, and we're more into this new era of phygital and then more digital world and digital fashion.
I hope so. I think, you know, this is where the talent pool lies. I think you are driving the future. I don't think any of you are really going with the flow. And I think maintaining your brand image, and I hope very much Web3 will bring more collaborations and partnerships, and your names will be at the forefront of that. So that's my hope for the next 5 years.
We hope so. So too.
Okay, thank you all so much.
Thank you.